Broadcasting live from Youngville, North Carolina and Ontario, Canada, this is Got Mead Live, a weekly show where Vicky Rowe and AJ Airmans bring you the mead news, meadery info, and mead making discussions from all over, talking with mead makers, mead owners, industry mavens, and influencers. This is Got Mead Live, a weekly podcast about mead and the people who love it and where the mead world is going. And now here are your hosts, Got Mead owner Vicky Rowe and mead and wine maker AJ Airmans.
From the den of the puppies of the apocalypse in northern Michigan, the bunny pen in Ottawa, Canada, and the palatial retirement estate in Minnesota, although he's in Boulder or somewhere in Colorado right now, it's Got Mead Live. Welcome to the show. Want to say thanks to all the folks who have renewed or signed up for Got Mead Patron membership over the last couple of weeks. That is how I'm able to keep all of this online. And trust me when I say it, it's not easy or cheap. So you are very much appreciated because I love doing this. We like helping folks out and doing the mead thing. So, as long as we can keep this on the air. For anybody who, for whatever reason, the sounds are coming in all the notifications all of a sudden. So anybody that isn't already a supporting patron member, it's only $30 a year, about 50 cents a week. Get you access to patron boards in the Got Mead forums, the patron Facebook group. There's a lot of really good recipes and some very talented people in there who are great at helping others out. So definitely consider it. If you want to be on Got Mead, that's easy enough. Go to gotmead.com/community. That's our forum. You can sign up there for free and that'll get you like 90% of the stuff. And then if you want to upgrade, you can do it right from there. Easy peasy. And we're having Brian Bookmiller with Queen City Meadery in Buffalo, New York on tonight. So if you want to listen to us live. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, X, Facebook, and I think it's streaming on Instagram. I can never tell if it's working properly. So you can chat to us on any of the platforms. And then we have also got a live Discord chat going on during the show. So on Twitch, we're twitch.tv/meadwench. YouTube is youtube.com/@gotmead. X is x.com/realgotmead. Facebook is facebook.com/gotmead. Instagram is instagram.com/gotmead. And why is my Discord connection not show? Discord is discord.gg/4. P is in pony, E, N is in Nancy, A, U, M is in Mary, Q. The P, E, and A are capitalized. So, and if you want an invite, or you can just click on the link on any of our social media posts. That should take you right straight to us. So, in the meantime, just take care of that. Of course, our social media, you can find us on our page. It's facebook.com/gotmead. Our main group is facebook.com/groups/gotmead. We do ask 3 questions to get you in there, and they're easy peasy. So just do them and we'll let you right in. This is how we keep the spammers away. And of course, on X, we're Real Got Mead. Feel free to tweet if you want. If you want to send us comments, questions, criticisms, people you think we need to have on the show or anything like that, events that you want to us to make sure to advertise for you on our listing of events every show, you can go to gotmead.com, put your mouse over, but do not click Got Mead Live Radio Show. Click the drop down and that'll take you to a form that when you send it, it comes to all 3 of us. So, and I think we may be Kevinless tonight. He's roaming around Colorado somewhere. So he may or may not pop in. We shall see. But in the meantime, let's get on with, I got to be a shout out to our lovely sponsors, Honeybrook Craft Mead, with 2 Colorado locations to serve you. Visit our original Castle Rock tasting room and production facility or our brand new Littleton Mead Cottage and Garden. Choose from 20 taps of wonderful, light, and refreshing craft mead. Find them using your favorite map app or visit them at honeybrook.com, HONNI brook.com. So, in the meantime, Brian, welcome. Good to have you on the show.
How you doing?
Pretty good. Well, I'm just sitting here wondering how long it's going to be before we start seeing snow. You guys got anything yet there in Buffalo?
No, this has been an incredibly warm summer and fall so far. We were in the 80s on low 80s on Saturday. believe it
Yeah,
or not. So
we were in the 80s last week, and it's like, and I'm seeing woolly caterpillars everywhere, and I'm thinking, oh goodness, this is going to be an interesting winter.
yeah, the exact same thing here. I mean, it's we still got leaves on the trees, and our local
Mhm.
Tim Hortons ran out of pumpkin donuts already. So
You know it's fall when the Tim Hortons runs out of pumpkin donuts.
yeah, well, I'm a purist, and I haven't had one yet. So today I was on my way to work, and I'm like, I finally feel like a pumpkin donut. Go to get my coffee and donut, and they're like, yeah, we're out for the season. And I'm
What?
like, there's, it's like getting Oktoberfest at the end of July. It's just not right.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
so yeah, it's been very warm here, which means the lakes are very warm, which means it'll be an interesting winter, of course.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same here. Is like, all indications point to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are
Hmm.
we still not out on showing up on Twitch,
Nope.
AJ? Well, crap. What the heck? I clicked all the buttons.
The buttons are lying.
Apparently not. Yeah, and I don't think without going off and then back on again, I think I can't add that in. I don't think it'll let me do that. This thing is
Well,
flexible,
weird.
but not that flexible.
live streaming nowadays is like trying to advertise for the meadery. It's like, am I on Facebook? Did we go on TikTok? Did we go on
Oh, I
that?
know. Well,
Instagram? Are we here and there? And it's just, there's so many options now.
yeah. Okay. I don't know what I'm going to do if it's not coming up on Twitch. I'm just going to have to suck it up, I guess.
It is not up.
It's not. Yeah, it's not giving me I've got a share stream page, but it doesn't give me an option to say anything to add Twitch back in. It must have dropped off the settings for that or something. All right, we're just going to have to deal. I'll cross post it, I guess. Could go grab it off the Facebook page or YouTube and just drop a link in.
I am techno-boob and cannot help.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll figure it out. Yeah, no, this app is kind of cool. It gives me, it's like, here's all the places that you can broadcast all at once, and then it lets you pick and choose, and there's stuff I don't use, like it'll let you send straight out to TikTok. I don't do TikTok, so among other things. But I've got it going out to YouTube, Instagram, X, a couple places on Facebook page, and then supposedly Twitch, but apparently decided to drop that.
they all play the same stuff anyways,
Well, yeah, but we get a lot of our listeners hang out apparently on Twitch who, say
not as many since you
figured it out.
Not as many since you switched to Discord.
Oh, because they were hanging out in the chat.
They were hanging out for the chat. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Sorry, Twitch folks.
Yeah. Sorry, Twitch folks. We apologize. It was not intentional, and I will double check all the settings so that this does not happen again. So in the meantime, let's talk mead. Yeah, we got some really good questions from Nathan tonight. So you'll like him. And of course some of it had to do with weather in and around Buffalo.
Sure.
Because nobody's ever interested in that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you lived here your whole life.
Yeah, you're a Buffalo native, aren't you?
Yep. Born, raised, lived here my whole life. Yep. Absolutely.
Okay.
Never missed a snowstorm.
My hubby's been there any number of times, and he got trapped there a couple of times doing jobs for the company in the wintertime, and it would be like, well, honey, Buffalo snowed in again. I'll see you when I can see you.
It takes a lot for us to get snowed in. I mean, it's if there's 6 to 8 inches on the ground, that just means you're a little delayed to work.
Yeah, a foot, then we start thinking about staying home. It's
whereas in North Carolina, if it looks like it's thinking about considering the possibility of snow anytime in the next week, the entire city shuts down. They brine all the roads. Nobody goes anywhere. The airport shuts down. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's a little different nowadays. Like I remember when I was younger, as a kid growing up, you walk to school in the snow, and it was just part of life. And nowadays, they like prematurely close schools for potential storms, and I'm like, that never happened for me.
It's rare here that they still close the schools, but they do shut down the buses.
Yeah.
Because
They
most of
don't,
the school buses are heading out to rural areas, and it's just a disaster to try to get a snow bus through or a school bus through a foot of snow.
Yeah. I say when I was in school, we didn't get out for nothing, no how ever. You know, it had to be apocalyptic for them to let us out of school. And we would love it because then my brother and I would throw our skis in the car and go up the ski area.
Yeah, about 15, 20 years ago, there was some freak storms that caused, people to get stranded in their cars. And when we get snow, it can be a lot of snow very quickly, and it's usually very wet.
Yeah.
And it's nonstop. So there was storms 15, 20 years ago. Kids were stuck in buses on the road and stuck at school. And the forecast, the lake effect is kind of a weird thing to predict. And after those instances, school administrators got really gun shy because they didn't want to be the ones who didn't send the kids home in time and they all got stuck at school. So now they're doing this premature closing stuff, which, and like I said, growing up, that never, ever, ever happened.
Yeah, ever happened. Yeah, it was uphill both ways in the snow, barefoot,
Absolutely.
and now they're like little pansies, I mean, they get out for the least little thing. It's like, really? Come on.
Yeah,
they
but
have
it's liability.
shoveling out in front of the school and stuff,
Yeah, they don't want the liability and the PR.
It's liability.
So they always.
I guess I get that.
Yeah, they err on the safe side for the kids, So.
Yeah, I get that, and that makes sense. But yeah, it still makes me want to go lightweights.
Well, if you lived within walking distance of the school, you were screwed anyways.
Yeah. But so now you guys got going around 2018, huh?
Yeah. We started at the end of 2018, and pre-COVID. So we enjoyed 2 good normal years of business before everything got crazy.
Right.
And because we're in New York State, it was the regulations were pretty crazy back then and weird, and 6 feet standing and masks, and it was it was that time, and it is what it is. It was what it was, and we survived it. We came out on the other side, and since then, it's been one of those things where you just try and get your business plan back on track and try and start up where you thought you were going to be at this point. So.
Yeah.
Did your Tim Hortons have signs on the pavement indicating how many Timbits apart you needed to stand? Because ours did.
I was lucky at that time in the industry I was in. For my day job, I worked from home a lot, so I just bought my K-Cup Keurigs from Tim Hortons, and I was happy. So,
gotta love it.
Yeah.
So we forgot an important part of the show. What are we drinking?
Oh yeah, we did, and we got to talking, and we're not drinking. What the heck?
We just started talking.
I know, right? So Brian, what are you drinking?
So I already had it because I needed a drink after work. I actually opened up a bottle of raspberry mead from Schramm's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So when I heard he was putting his place up for sale, I was like, I got to order some mead, and I bought. I haven't had some of his stuff in a while, so I bought a bunch of bottles. And earlier tonight, I felt like the red raspberry, which was phenomenal as always.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, it's a little sweeter than what I make, but it's so well balanced, and the flavors are so pronounced, and it's just it's a great mead. So I had that earlier, and I feel much better now. So
this is a good thing.
How about you, Vicky?
Okay. I decided I've been working my way through the fridge meads. So I've got a buttload of stuff that's in cans and small bottles that won't fit on the racks and stuff that ended up in the mead fridge. So I was digging around in there, and I had a can of Charm City Meadworks out of left field. I've actually had this for a couple of years. It's a session strength orange blossom traditional. So simple and straightforward, right out of the gate. Real nice light aroma. Kind of makes me think of orange peel, like dried peel. And the flavor is really light, bright orange citrus, lots of not just a touch of effervescence, because cans, if you let them sit, after a while they're not
Not
fuzzy
that
or any.
carbonated.
Yeah, not that carbonated anymore. So yeah, so it's got a touch of effervescence though, and it's just a nice long citrus finish, real easy drinker, definitely a beach mead. I mean, this is I could sit there and go, yeah, we're good, with this. So definitely worth a drink. And if anybody's interested, you can go to charmcitymeadworks.com, check it out, see what they've got. I haven't gotten any of your stuff yet, Brian.
From Queen City Meadery.
Yeah, I haven't gotten anything from you. Yeah, I've been meaning to, but my mead budget is kind of shot to heck right now.
So believe it or not, we really stopped doing online sales.
Did you really?
Yeah, we did.
Just doing local?
No, yeah, we're just local. We're our tasting room and distribution only. Shipping rates have gotten out of control.
You could say that again. That's one of the reasons why my meat budget's shot.
Yeah, it and I'm not going to say, which company, but they're both very expensive. It's very prohibitive, and it really hurts sales. And we used to do a lot of we did Vino Shipper for a while, and but a lot of our sales were in New York State, so we would do that ourselves. And the shipping prices it was almost as much to ship a single bottle of our mead as it was to buy it.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And the other thing that happened, which is just something that happened, we used to use UPS a lot. And because it was alcohol, they would either only pick it up directly at our facility during business hours, Monday through Friday, or I'd have to drive to their warehouse where they had a customer service desk, and I could drop it off, right? Because we were authorized alcohol shipper. Well, they decided to close their local customer service center. They just closed it one day, just out of the blue. And so scheduling a pickup when I am there is really time consuming. And, with the cost of shipping, it just really didn't make sense to, not only the shipping cost, but the cost of packaging, getting really good packaging and boxes and the foam and all that stuff. It was just really wasn't a big enough part of our business to deal with all the extra effort and money to do it. So we
that
stopped.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Hey, AJ, what about you? What you got?
I grabbed one of Kevin's today. It's a peach with sweet yellow clover. It's a sack mead. It's 16%, so I'm only having one glass, and I can feel it already. As soon as I pulled the cork, I could smell peaches. I'm really, really happy with this. The peach isn't strong, but it's there. It's definitely there. Like I haven't made a peach mead myself, but I've heard that it's very hard to get peach to stay around.
Apricots, that's the secret.
Sure. I've read that. I haven't tried it yet. But like I still have peach on the back of my tongue, and I swallowed a while ago. Like it's really, really nice.
I found that at least
seriously hurt myself with this stuff.
Yeah, and then say you're a cheap drunk too. So
it depends on it. Actually, the stronger it is, usually the less it hits me. But
really, okay,
yeah. It's like my system ignores beer, so it runs rampant. But if I drink hard spirits, I can drink a lot more of that than I can beer before I regret it.
I used to be able to do that too. Not anymore. Not since they put me on the blood thinners. I can't drink hardly anything. 2 drinks and I'm done. Yeah. Whenever I go to a competition, because everybody's sharing everything everywhere, then you try like 100 different meads because, hey, look, try this.
Annie and her thimble was absolutely the right idea.
Absolutely the right idea. Yeah, I've got a little tiny wooden goblet that holds maybe like an ounce. Yeah, it's a friend of mine who does wood turning gave it to me, and I was like, it's in a box somewhere, so I got to track it down.
Make me a wooden shot glass.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what I'm going to take the next when I go to Valks or something.
Nice.
But yeah, so man, that sucks, Bri, that that goes that route, but I get it. And yeah, honestly, I'm surprised that as many meaderies that are still selling online are, because the costs are just kind of
Yeah, it was.
They're just outrageous.
Yeah, it was a lot of extra. You know, you got to maintain your website, and you got to all that stuff, and you got to ship it and box it. It wasn't big enough part of our business to keep doing it. So.
Yeah. Well, and that makes good business sense. You know, I mean, if it's
Yeah.
not, if the cost and the risk exceed the benefits, then don't do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. If it's not a huge part of your business, then
yeah.
Yeah, and that side of the business really declined post COVID. So like during COVID, you know, obviously everyone was home, they weren't going out.
Right. Yeah,
We
they had
were
to
doing a
come
lot
pull
more
up at the
mail
curb, and
yeah, everyone's drinking at home while they're working. I'm not saying that, but it was happening. And you know, we did a lot more mail order, and then really once everything reopened up, people started going out more, and really, you know, subsided as a major part of our business. So, yeah, so.
Well, and I've not been to Buffalo, but my husband, I say, has been there several times. And Buffalo, from what I understand and what I've heard, strikes me as a lot like places like Milwaukee. It's a big, mostly blue collar town, and folks are just out and about doing whatever they're doing, you know, going places.
Yeah.
And my town here, though much smaller than Buffalo, is like that. I mean, we've got half dozen restaurants and 2 breweries and a winery, and you know, and all that, and people are always out and about doing stuff because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, because of our wet winters and all that, we really try and take advantage of the summers. So you know, as soon as the weather clears, people are out doing. I mean, during the summer, it's like, and that's one of the big challenges of the business is that, you know, because, you know, from April, May to like early October, there is literally events and stuff to do outside every weekend. So, you know, we're competing for all these people against all these events, you know, whether it's this event, party,
gotta have something to drink.
Well, yeah. So, so what we've been really focusing on at the meadery is, you know, we got to figure a way to get them into the meadery, or we got to go to where the people are. Like if there's craft shows and events and farmers markets or anything like that. And that's been a really big part of our business these past 2 years is just
getting
so you're
out tabling a lot.
Yeah, we're doing
the people.
Yes. Yeah. Because, you know, I don't know if it's a part of the alcohol industry in general, but like, I think the days of people bar hopping to different craft breweries and wineries, it's kind of, it's expensive, but it's kind of calmed down.
It has, yeah. Well, and that's part of what's, you know, I mean, that's part of why the industries are constricting down, because a lot of people aren't going to do stuff like that the way they used to.
No,
you know, I remember when I turned 21, we did a pub crawl. You know, I don't remember the last part of the pub crawl, but I do know that we did a pub crawl. You know, I had to be poured into bed. You know, it was kind of, and that was the thing. It was, you know, I mean, a lot of people did that kind of stuff, and now I can't. Well, I mean, granted, I'm old, you know, but I can't imagine doing that now. I mean, it's like, you know, I might go to a winery or a brewery or whatever, and I'll have a couple of drinks, and if they have food, I'm gonna have some food, and I'm gonna hang out. I go to hang with my friends, and you know.
Yeah, this younger generation, they definitely do not drink as much as we did.
Not as much, no.
Probably for the best, because I remember some of my friends in university, and they probably don't.
They don't remember those days. Yeah.
Yep. The other big thing in New York State is the legalization of marijuana. So,
did they finally get around to it? I heard they were having all sorts of fun implementing that.
No. I think it was it's about almost 2 years now where it's been legalized for recreational use, and so a lot of kids now they got the little vape pens, and you know they're edibles,
gummies.
And, gummies, and you know you see the young kids doing, you know, because let's face it, you know, the economy's the way it is right now. People only have X amount of disposable income. And you know, booze, liquor, and especially niche products that are a little more expensive, like mead, tends to subside in terms of consumption levels. So,
Yeah.
we're fighting a lot of different threats at this time, right? And we're trying to just get our product out there as best we can.
It's probably the best way to go about it. Now, you guys is your location like downtown? Is it in a shopping district, or is it in like a lot of meaderies I know get places in light industrial areas, office parks, that kind of thing?
We're in a really interesting spot. So,
do tell.
We're actually in a suburb of Buffalo called West Seneca,
Okay.
and we're off the main artery in a plaza, and this plaza is very interesting. It's doctors, it's dentists. There's a bar, there's a bowling alley, there's a karate studio, there's a pizza place. It's just a whole buffet of different businesses there, and it's just it's just very the rent, and it was very appealing. The landlord is very cool, and so it's worked. This was our first spot. We didn't think we'd be staying here, but an opportunity came a couple years ago to expand into the building next to us. So we literally knocked down the wall and doubled our size. So that was the best option at the time for us, because we wanted to go someplace else more downtown and more of a hip area or something like that. And construction costs and commercial rents were just out of control. And, just couldn't do it. There's another meadery in the area, which is definitely in a more light commercial area, than compared to us. So, but that's what you got to do. You're either light commercial, or you're out in the sticks, or you're in weird plazas. It's that's how it works.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've seen some that are like they're out, like outside town somewhere, usually like on or near one of the wine trails, or they're in a light industrial area, or they're right in town. So it just kind of depends on where you're at and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, even when buying a house, you hear the term, you don't want to be rent poor. And for a business, it's the same thing, the same concept. You can't have a good percentage of your operating cash going to your lease every month. You got to keep that in check. So same concept.
Yeah, well, pretty much. So now, what are you guys? Are you more full ABV, more session, mix of both? What are you doing?
We are really both.
I haven't been out your way yet. I mean, I've been over by the city, but I haven't been out in Western New York in a while.
Yeah. So, and for those who don't know, I mean, Buffalo is not near New York City at all.
Not anywhere near it, thankfully.
Everyone thinks it's like really close, and it's not. I mean, it's literally a 9-hour drive, 9-hour drive all the way across the state. And we're very Midwest. I mean, we're about as close to the sugar belt as you could think. We're very much like Cleveland, very much like Ohio, so we're really Midwestern vibe of a town with a little New York City influence. But in terms of meads, we do both. So we have half, session, full strength meads at like 13%. And then we have half session meads, which, around 7%, little carbonation. But we're definitely a fruit forward mead. Not a lot of traditional meads or anything like that, but definitely a lot of fruit combinations for sure.
Very cool. And now, are you working under the Farm Bill? I was up in Finger Lakes when they did the conference, the mead wine conference that they had up on the north end of the Finger Lakes district, and they had a bunch of meaderies that were there that were opening up under that new Farm Bill, where you have to get most of the resources from inside the state. Are you guys doing that?
We're both.
Oh, okay.
So we're licensed. You can do both, but you got to pay for both. So
okay. So that makes sense. I mean, it's not fun, but they're not going to miss a chance to take your money, man.
Exactly. In New York State, they love their license fees. So yeah, we are a bonded winery, and we are also a New York State farm meadery. So what that means, and the reason why we did this is because of the honey, right? We have some very specific still meads that use very specific honey blends like orange blossom or avocado or whatever, right? That you can't get in New York State because basically New York State is wildflower and it's spring or fall. I mean, that's it, right? So you get your light honey and dark honey.
Yeah.
So for those certain meads where I like to use orange blossom or avocado or clover, I will make those under the normal winery license. And then for anything that we do under New York State, I will buy New York State honey from local producers.
Okay. Now, are you also
And
getting some of the wild varietals and stuff like that from around?
oh yeah, absolutely. So basically, in New York State, it's wildflower. I mean, that's it, right?
Yeah.
And depending on which producer you go to, some like especially in the fall, like, oh yeah, we got a lot of goldenrod, or we got a lot of this, but it's really wildflower, and we use those specifically for a lot of our session, lower ABV needs, where I'm not too concerned about the honey, specific honey varieties.
Mhm.
And the flexibility of that is when it's a New York State mead, right? I can sell those at different locations versus my normal stuff, which is considered wine. And, it just allows us more flexibility. So, for example, I can sell my mead at a New York State farm brewery. So they can take a keg of our mead and have it on tap there.
Now,
You
that's
know,
nice.
yeah. So, and otherwise, if I wanted to sell the mead, they would have to have a full bar tavern license, which
Okay.
is another license, which is more expensive. So the New York State craft license, whether it's a brewery or a distillery or meadery, allows those operators to cross-pollinate their products. So in addition to mead on tap, we also have 2 taps for New York State farm brewed beer, for our customers. So, sometimes you see groups come in, oh, I want the mead, and then the husband's like, oh, I just want a beer, right? We now have craft beer for sale that's made in New York State, right? Um, we also can use distilled spirits that are made in New York State. So we now do mead cocktails where we can get
Ooh, nice.
vodka, so vodka, bourbon, gin that is made by a New York State farm distiller, and we can sell that at our tasting room. And we do mead cocktails with our fusions of the mead with the spirits. So
Cool.
that's been very, so it just adds flexibility and variety for our customers.
That's
Yeah,
really cool because, like,
it is really cool.
I know
Yeah.
here there's no chance you'd be able to
Oh
do
yeah,
any of
yeah.
it.
They'd be like showing up, going, shh, "You gotta stop doing that now, boy."
Yeah, but that's the advantage. That's the advantage of getting the dual license. Now,
Yeah.
and like I said, there are some very specific meads that some of our customers really love with certain varieties of honey. Like we make one called Barrel Monkeys, which is strawberries with orange blossom honey with banana, right?
Mm.
Okay.
And the orange blossom honey with this, just the aroma of the honey combined with the banana and the strawberry, it's a perfect blend, right?
Oh
And I
yeah. Yeah.
know, I know
Banana
you,
has
I might be
elements.
able to squeeze in a spring wildflower honey to make that, but definitely not fall because it's too dark, right? So you lose that characteristic. Or using clover honey with some of our other ones, or the avocado. I just lose that flexibility if I go with the 100% New York State farm license.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I love the sound of that mead. I'll have to put you guys on the top of my list when my mead budget becomes available.
That's one we've had since the day we opened.
Well, you gotta have some core stuff. I mean, I
Oh
know
yeah,
I know that I know the industry, both us and craft beer are all about what have you done for me lately, and what's new, and I'm like, no, man, I hate it when they get rid of they let go one of my favorites because new. Yeah, okay. Y'all can keep your milkshake stouts. Give me the stuff that I really liked.
Yeah. Now we typically have 12 meads, that are staples. 6 stills, 6 sessions that we will always produce, and
Okay.
then I will rotate in seasonals and different ones every now and then. And just keep that little rotating. These are the ones that certain customers really love, but they will never outsell our staples that are always in production. You know,
Yeah.
so customers will come in like, when you bringing this back? And I'm like, maybe next year. Depends what ingredients I can get and the quality of them, and the
Yeah.
time of year and all that. But I've always got those 15 different recipes we've produced over the years that I'll bring back out of the blue for customers and surprise them.
That's nice. Do you have like a couple that people are always going, come on, man, we want this again?
Yeah. So there's one. It's called Morning Buzz, and it's a coffee mead. So it's coffee with a little lactose, a little
Okay.
carbonation, and it's coffee now. And
Yeah.
there's that core group of people that always come in like, when you bringing back the coffee mead, and I'm like, I don't know. So there's stuff like that, and they love it, and then only they buy it. It's one of those things. So, but
Yeah.
no, we got a pretty big list of meads to choose from now that we've made over the years, and for new ones, I usually try and get 1 or 2 new ones a year, and I'll see how they go, right? And if they're
Yeah.
successful, we'll bring them back.
I'm noticing your chai me. I'm a chai nut, so
Yeah.
I like trying those. I'm with those the way some people are with PB&J meats.
Yeah. No, we do our chai me, it's called. Yeah, it's been around forever, and like you said, people who love chai love that mead, and that one always does really well in late summer, fall, and the holiday season. So that's always a good one this time of year.
Yeah, it's a good fall thing. Do you
Mhm.
go with a heavy or light mix of spices when you do that? Are you bringing the actual tea in, or just the chai spices?
Oh, I get chai tea bags. I literally, and
Okay.
I blanch the crap out of it.
Can
And
I ask which chai tea bags you're using? I'm curious if it's
I
okay.
think it's no, it's the one in the red bags,
Oh,
the British
yeah.
one.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
I'd
which is
say
crazy.
when I get bags, I go with crap. It's the same kind of thing. I'm like totally ditzing out on it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, because I've got my favorites. I mix my own chai, so I buy bags of tea and bags of spices, and I grind up my own spices and mix up my own teas and everything. But I also have
Mhm.
bags for days when I can't take that with me.
Well, the crazy thing with this is these tea bags I buy, they're individually wrapped.
Yep. So you're just
So
hanging a
literally,
shitload of tea bags in a tank?
I'm literally individual. I'm literally
Oh my
hooking up
god.
like a
Okay, no,
couple hundred.
wait. How big a batch are you making of the chai at a time?
So this last one, I made a smaller batch. It was only like 35 gallons.
Uh-huh.
But the last batch before, the last batch before that was a larger, 140 gallons. And
Jeez,
in
dude,
that
that's like
one,
40 cases of chai tea bags.
it was a lot of tea bags,
Oh
and I've
jeez.
gotten really, really good at
Oh my
opening
god.
them.
I'll bet
So
you did. Oh my
yeah,
god.
takes a little time, a little patience. You
Uh-huh.
get a
Yeah,
little
okay,
carpal
so
Probably some
go
words
tunnel
you
buy
before
don't
you're
say in
done with
front of
that
grandma.
batch. Yeah,
a big
yeah.
old mesh bag at the brew shop, Bry,
Well,
and
I did. It's funny.
go to Frontier Herbs and they'll sell you chai by the pound, and it's actually pretty
there
good chai.
is there is a spice shop around the corner from us,
Oh, nice.
and one
Did they make the
batch
chai?
they did, and they gave it to me in a big bag, and
Nice.
and I just did not like the flavor.
Yeah, well, and that's
It
the
was,
thing. It's there's like 80 gazillion ways to mix it. I had an Indian friend that told me Well, we were hanging in the airport. I was going to Britain, and we were in the international departure lounge, and it's like 3 people there. Nobody traveled. This is in Raleigh. It's like nobody's going overseas today, apparently. So it's me, my girlfriend, and this Indian lady, and we got to talking, and she found out I like chai, and so we had a very lively conversation. And she's like, "Oh yeah, every family has their own spice mix, and they're all very individual." I was like, "Oh, okay." It's like Tej in Ethiopia,
Yeah, it was a Twinings is the brand we use, Twinings.
Oh, Twinings. Yeah. They're kind of
yeah,
standard. I don't
yeah.
know. I mean, personally, I'm not a big fan of their chai mix. I mean, their tea is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but their chai
Mhm.
mix just doesn't thrill me. I
It's
want a bolder flavor on mine, but that's just me.
yeah, yeah. Our what's funny is the one thing we try and do is keep our batches consistent between each
Yeah,
one, and
you have to.
that one where I used the other spices just did not. It was different, and everyone could tell. And
People were like, "Dude, this isn't right."
yeah, and it's funny. We don't do a lot of spices and meads. We don't. Just not my forte. I'm a big fruit fan, and we do another one, a mead called Peacemaker, and it's made with blackberries and Szechuan peppercorn. Right?
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
And it's great because the Szechuan peppercorn, it's a peppery, it's not hot. I always tell people don't be afraid of the Szechuan. Right?
Oh no, I love cracked black peppercorns with fruit. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and the great thing about the Szechuan peppercorn, it like almost tingles the mouth as you drink it, a little numbing sensation.
Yeah.
Very unique. And when we first started making it, we used to get this brand, and it was from China, right? And during COVID, they vanished. It was really like the company went out of business, and I can't find it anymore. This very specific brand, and I don't know if it was the peppercorn they used, or how they milled it, or how they ground it. I don't know what they did, but I found another vendor, who made this. It's just not the same.
Oh,
and the customers know it. It's the best version of what I could find. But everyone's like, it's just a little different. I'm like, yeah, I know the company that used to make our Szechuan peppercorn, I can't find them anymore. They vanished. So what you use and the quality of that product really goes a long way. And like I said, that customers know when things change.
Yeah,
they definitely know. So
yeah, they absolutely do. Well, this is a little different than last time. That's why I mean, one of the reasons why I like to make my own chai is that way I can keep it the same or change it depending on what I want.
Your blend.
Well, yeah, I basically get a big old bowl out and just start dumping stuff in and swooshing it around and smelling it. Oh gosh, Tracy's soaking cheese in port. Yay!
Oh my!
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that, and I love me a good port. I've got a little port stash down with me that just when I find a good looking bottle of port. I've got an Australian port that I picked up when I was there, and it's like I want to drink it, but I don't want to drink it because it's the only bottle I've got. So it's just what I'm looking through your stuff, and I love some of your combos. The community days sounds really interesting. Lavender, blackberry, and lemon, and aged on what is that aged? Can't see the rest of it.
It's aged in a gin barrel.
Oh, gin barrel. Okay.
Yeah, that was actually I made that for my stepdaughter's wedding last year. So her and her husband, we were on a trip in Maine, when they got engaged, and we had we were on a beach resort there by Katy National Park, and the day that he proposed to her, the hotel had a drink special, and it was a lavender gin with lemon, and blackberries, and we all had that drink, and that was so, and then they originally met at a festival called Community Days. It's like a local summer thing. Yeah. So I made that mead for their wedding, and it's exactly what it is. It's blackberries with lemon, with lavender, and then I age it in a gin barrel. So it's very dark. You get that lavender smell and flavor, and then you get the floral essence from the gin barrels.
All right. Now,
and believe it or not, that's not too long. Maybe maybe like 6 months.
Oh, okay.
You know, because I didn't want to pull too much of the oak from it. I wanted more of that floral flavor from the gin, right? So you know, it was more about that gin floral nature that I wanted. So, and if you age it so long in those barrels, you also get the vanilla and, you know, the vanilla oakiness, which I didn't want. I just wanted the gin. So that's actually a session served cold, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
So it's more of a summery drink, believe it or not.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it.
Yeah.
I mean, gin is a summer thing for me anyway. I mean, gin and vodka are more summer. It's, you know, vodka tonics, gin tonics, you know.
Yeah, we one of the mead cocktails we actually make right now. It's a combination of our one of our main staple products, our Blue Potion, which is a blackberry blueberry session. So we do gin with tonic with Blue Potion and a dash of lemon. So it's one of our cocktails. Yeah.
That sounds yummy.
Yes, it is. That's a popular one for sure.
I got the chance to try when I was down in Southeast Michigan last week. 2 weeks ago actually. I swung over to see Brad Dahlhofer at his place, and B Nectar, and he's got a whole line of, it's called Sober, and they're mocktail. Yeah, and I was sitting and just, he was out. He had to go do a show or something on the day I showed up. It's funny. I pulled in and he's pulling out, and I'm like, "What? What'd I do?" He's like, "I completely forgot I had to go do this show." So yeah, Carrie's in there. Go talk to her. And I was like, okay. He says, I'll see you tomorrow. So yeah, but come Sunday, I called him up and we ended up going wandering around Detroit. He took me on a driving tour of Detroit. It was hilarious.
That's great.
I haven't been in downtown Detroit in, probably 20 years. So, yeah, I mean, I live in the northern part of the state now, so it's like a 3-hour drive. I don't go down there all that often, but it happened 2 weekends in a row because I had a beekeepers conference, and then the following weekend was the Michigan Mead Cup, both of them down in that general area. So, but anyway, yeah, so I tried all 4 of his sobers and I was blown away. And 2 of them are drinks I've never had, a Negroni and a Paloma, I think was the other one. And I'd never had either of those. I'm more of a gin and tonic gal, you know, or I'll have a vodka tonic or a rum and coke. I'm pretty, you know, in my younger days. I saw,
you know, I saw those. Are they alcohol free?
They are alcohol free, and you'd swear. I was sitting there talking to Carrie, and I catch myself drinking it like a drink because you wouldn't know it is alcohol free.
Those are 2 good drinks to go alcohol free with, because the Paloma, I believe, is a tequila or mezcal drink.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
and
so it's
Negroni is like super bitter.
Yes. So I like Negronis, and they're very bitter. So those are 2 good drinks to choose from, just because their flavors are so unique that you really don't taste the alcohol with those normally, because of the uniqueness of those flavors. So if you can replicate those flavors, you wouldn't know. You know, it's a great choice on their part for going for those. For you know, because if you tried to make like a sober, you know, screwdriver, you know, a vodka tea, you know, that's just iced tea, you know. So you would be like, yeah, okay. But those 2, that's a great 2 great ideas from them.
Yeah. I was just, and the fun thing is, and I realize this flies in the face of the whole thing, is if I don't feel like mixing a drink, I can just pour out a can of that, put some vodka or gin or whatever it is. You know, what would normally go in there. It's got all the other things. So.
Or if you want to drink, you could just pour booze in those. So.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. Is I just pour that into a glass and pour some booze on it, and I'm good to go. But yeah, he loaded me up. I was like, oh man, thank you. So I'm going to be taking some of those around when I go places to let people try them.
Yeah, and good for him. You know, good for him coming out with something new, because you got to try different stuff to survive in this business.
It's a market decision, and he cited much the same thing like you were saying earlier, is a lot of these younger sets aren't drinking as much.
No.
You know, so you know, if they can get these things, they can have the flavors without having the alcohol. You know, I mean, because they're still drinking things, they're just not necessarily drinking as much alcohol as they used to.
Yeah, and I'm sure the cost to produce those are way cheaper than mead. So those
Oh, I would
margins are
imagine
much
so.
better.
Yeah. Although
Yeah,
he's,
no,
although he's got like the world's most awesomest canning machine. So boy, howdy, you should
yeah,
see. It's like a story and a half tall, and it does whole pallets at a time.
it's crazy. We
Oh
we still
man.
go through a mobile canner because
Yeah, a lot of
the
meaderies do.
cost.
But he's been around longer, than most of the meaderies in
Yeah,
the country. Plus, he's I think he's right now production wise. I think he's the biggest one.
yeah. Oh, yeah, by far, by
Yeah.
far.
Well, it used to be between
Yeah.
him and Mike out at Rabbit's Foot, but
Hmm.
Mike closed down the main shop, and now he's just got the bespoke place out at his ranch. So
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it's tough because the one thing about mead, and that's the one thing we've been struggling is tapping into distribution. Is
yeah,
really challenging
what's
right
it
now.
like up there? I mean, you guys have
It's non-existent right now. Distributors are not, because the overall alcohol industry is on a downturn.
yeah,
And like you said, he saw the change in customer habits. People are drinking less,
mhm.
so distributors are not bringing on any new business.
Mm,
And mead is just one of those things where it's hard to explain.
Yeah, and
And
if they don't already get it,
yeah,
they don't want to take a risk on it.
you
yes,
guys have
exactly.
got a mead importer up your way. Well, I think he's up in Connecticut, but
Hmm.
Center's up that way.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he's bringing in stuff from out of state, but he's also getting involved with the local meaderies and handling a bunch of different stuff. So,
yeah, yeah.
but
So because of that, we do our own self distribution to bars and restaurants, and
okay, can you
we
take
beat this.
direct to stores too, like wine
Can,
shops and grocery stores and whatnot?
yeah, New York State's a little different. So because we are considered a wine, we can't be sold in grocery stores in New York
They
State.
don't.
So we could,
Oh
yeah. So it's
wow.
only liquor. Yeah, it's only liquor stores
Oh,
and
Wow. Oh,
restaurants
you
with a
guys
bar
got
tavern
okay.
license.
You guys have got ABC stores, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
In North
So
Carolina, they had ABC stores for the hard stuff, but wine and beer you could get pretty much everywhere.
yeah, no, there's been bills being tried to. They've been trying to, the Wine Association in New York State trying to get laws passed to allow wine in grocery stores. However, the liquor store industry and that whole, segment of people have been fighting it
mm,
vehemently because
yeah.
all they sell is booze and wine. And if you take away wine, they're kind of screwed, right? So it's a big battle right now between grocery stores wanting to sell it and liquor stores fighting it. So
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Our
guess.
our liquor stores have, I don't think, done badly since they started letting um, wine shops and things happen that weren't provincial controlled.
mhm.
So I don't know. They
Yeah,
seem to
yeah,
manage a peaceful coexistence here, but
Yeah.
your mileage may vary.
Here in Michigan, it's like we have all the things in all the places.
yeah. Must be nice.
It is. I mean, I walk into the local grocery store, and there's like an entire section of the store that's wine, beer, and liquor. And
Mhm,
We're
granted, the liquor
mhm,
the liquor selection is somewhat restricted because there's only so much space you can give it, but it is there,
mhm.
and they actually carry my somewhat obscure favorite rum brand that you can't always find everywhere.
we're getting
So
some of that here now, but it's new.
yeah, it's nice. I like it because then I don't have to go hit it in North Carolina. It's like if I was, having a get together or whatever and needed to get some supplies for that, I have to go to the grocery store. Then I have to go to the ABC store.
Mm,
It's kind of
Yeah,
annoying.
New York State's a pretty big bureaucratic machine. So any
No,
change is,
really?
yeah. So any change, if it does change, takes a long time, and usually it's blessing or a curse depending who you are. So
Well, yeah. I
um,
say the stuff that comes out
uh,
of Albany sometimes makes me wonder what they're smoking up there.
we now can smoke it legally here, so that's the only thing that they're smoking.
Yeah, yeah, they went
So
that route here too. You can tell when you cross the state line from Ohio because
well, it,
you can
wa-
smell the weed.
it was funny. Me and one of the original owners of the meadery, we actually went out to Colorado for a Mazer Cup, and we volunteered as stewards. So I think this was like 2018 or 2017, might have been 2017.
Oh, so I would have been there.
Yeah, so it was, and so we were volunteering as stewards because you wanted to meet people and all that stuff. And I remember we landed at the airport, and we were like, the first thing we said, like, take us to the nearest weed store.
Yeah, we used
And
to do that in Colorado.
So, yeah. So the funny story. So we, that first night of the event, there's always the meet and greet, right?
Mhm.
And this is a really funny story. So we got there, and the guy's like, listen, only take one, and wait about an hour before you do anything, right?
Right.
So we get there, we have some food, I take one and he takes one, right? And an hour goes by, and I'm like, I don't feel nothing.
Oh, that's where it usually goes wrong.
Yep.
And that's where it did go wrong. So of course I took another one.
Oh, bad idea.
And
Yeah.
it was a really interesting night.
I
was
I can hear colors. Oh my gosh.
oh yeah, we were at the meet and greet, and I was like standing in the corner, like looking all around, and
Yeah.
and, it was pretty funny. So needless to say, I went to bed early that night, and
Yeah.
he stayed out and hung out with everyone, and talked to everyone, and he's like, "You're such an idiot." I'm like, I'm an impatient person, that's just my nature. So, so that was my Mazer Cup story, which was kind of funny.
Oh yeah, I would go, and I always rented a car because I'd end up toting stuff around or picking people up or dealing with things, and I always ended up needing a vehicle. So Pete and I would basically share one, and basically what it came down to was Pete would pay half so that I would pick Pete up at the airport and take him back to the airport at the end of the he never actually wanted to drive the thing. He just didn't feel like catching a cab or whatever from the airport. So I was like, okay, fine, I'm down with that, and then I would find the time to sneak out of the hotel and go find the nearest dispensary.
Yeah.
The adult candy store.
Yeah, and then spend the rest of the trip trying to figure out how to get that home without getting arrested, So.
Yeah.
And I heard from the guys. Okay, so now the guys from Missouri they would drive out, and it's Pirtle Brothers, and the Pirtles are in I forget the name of the town, but they're in like slightly east Missouri, not like all the way over, but like left of center or right of center, Missouri, and so they would drive out with their meads for the comp and to share and pour at the mead mixer and all that kind of stuff. And they were telling me after Colorado legalized and everything that first year, all of us were like going, woohoo, having a great time because none of us were from states that Colorado was the second or third state in the country that went legal. And we were all enjoying that. And I guess the cops were basically the cops in Kansas and the border states around Colorado, we're all basically just standing there at the state line going, pull over.
Yeah. Well, it's funny in New York State, we have the same issue, but with fireworks.
Yeah.
So in Pennsylvania, you can get everything. I mean, mortars and all this crazy shit, right? So people in New York State, we get sparklers, of course. And so everyone from Buffalo, it's only an hour and 20-minute drive to the Pennsylvania border. So always around the first, right around the 4th of July, there's and of course, right on the other side of the New York State border, there's all these firework shops just everywhere. And they advertise in Buffalo. So you get these lines of people going down the PA, buying all this crazy stuff and trying to sneak it in the New York State. And cops are always pulling people over. And
same thing here. We get the basic stuff in Michigan, but you go across the border into Ohio, they got everything.
Gotta get yourself a criminal record in one easy step, huh?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But they aren't usually waiting for you for that. I don't know why. They should be, because they could probably make a lot of money off tickets. But,
well, they do. They do.
Yeah. But yeah, it's different. That's for sure. And it blows me away how different the laws are that govern the different alcohol production and distribution channels. Because, like, for instance, okay, in your state, you say they're just your distribution is there, but right now they're like not, nothing much going on, and you're having to go direct. But a lot of states you can't self-distribute, and others that's all you can do. Michigan is, I think we're 3-tier, and it's weird because you can't ship into the state unless you fill out different paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why if you go on Vino Shipper, you'll see a lot of them don't ship to Michigan because they haven't done the
Yep.
additional paperwork on their
Yep.
meads, and you got to do it for every single mead.
Yeah, it's very New York State's very weird because we're a producer, but we're also a distributor, and we have to do distributor reporting. And in the report, we literally sell it to ourselves, and then we report our own distribution. Like
Ah.
we have to allocate it. It's just very, very cumbersome. And like our distribution number is different than our producer license number. And
Red money and blue money, huh?
it's just crazy. And like, because because we're a New York State farm meadery and a winery, I have to track, not only my honey, but where the honey came from. So for New York State batches, I have to make sure I have to buy and label and track New York State honey batches differently than the normal batches, right? So I gotta really track and utilize that separately and document everything thoroughly.
Added layers of paperwork.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got, the one thing you do when you get in this business is learn the ins and outs of alcohol production paperwork. So
Yeah, you kind of have to. Now, can you guys? How is New York on, like, for making? Could you like make braggots, or did you have to? Would you have to get a different license, or is it basically like no way, Jose? You'd have to open a separate brewery.
So now that I'm a farm brewery, I can team up farm meadery. I could team up with a farm brewery to make a braggot with them. Yeah.
So basically, you're doing it like a contract brew at that point.
Or it would be a collab, essentially.
You're right. Yeah. But it's not on your premises, is what I was angling for.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't have the brewing equipment at my place to do a braggot. So, someone approached me to do that recently, and essentially we would provide the honey and work with them on all the flavorings, and they would essentially make it there.
Okay. Yeah, I was surprised when I was touring a meadery here in Michigan, and it was here we are standing in the middle of the meadery. Now step over this line painted on the floor. Now we're in the brewery.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is. And then there's other states where you can do both, but there has to be like a solid wall.
Yes.
An actual dividing wall between the two areas, so and then of course there's the ones that are like, nope, not going to happen. If grains touch your facility, we're going to come over there with jackboots and New
York State is
the rules.
Yeah, New York State is the same thing. Like it would have to be a separate building. So I know there are some places that there's a place in the Finger Lakes called Three Brothers, and they have three buildings. They have a brewery, a winery, and a distillery. But they're all on the same campus, but they're three separate buildings.
It's wild because Wisconsin, White Winter Winery has distilled mead, and he has a beautiful custom-made copper distilling setup that he ordered from Germany years ago. And it's in the back of the meadery. I mean, you walk past the bottling line, and there it is in all its glory, and it's right there in the building. And I was like, wow, I didn't know you could. He's like, oh yeah, they don't care. I was like, okay then.
Yeah, I can't. I couldn't even think about doing that here.
I know, right? I don't know anywhere else that does that. I'm sure there are places. There are probably states that will do that, but Wisconsin apparently does. So.
Yeah, believe it or not, you may have heard about this. There's a Polish honey liqueur called Krupnik.
Oh, I love Krupnik.
Yeah, so it's a big thing in Buffalo. We got a very
you got a lot of Poles there, yeah.
We got a lot of Polish people, and we do the big spring thing, and all that. And one of the local distillers wanted to make Krupnik, but they wanted us to make the base mead that then they would then distill for them. And at the time, it was more profitable for us just to make our meads instead of, because they wanted it very cheap, so they can make their 30% and their 30%, and we didn't end up doing it, but it's that is a definite thing here in Krupnik, and we're gonna probably sell Krupnik come this spring. Yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing, like I said, Buffalo Buffalo is a very ethnic town, whether it's German, Polish, Irish, Italian. There's just amazing amazing food. And one of the things that Buffalo celebrates is Dingus Day, which is the Monday after Easter.
Yep.
And it's Buffalo. It's like a big thing here. It's like St. Patrick's Day, but for Polish people. And lots of polkas and tons of krupnik is consumed that day.
Oh, God, yeah.
And it's a fun day. It's
Yeah,
a really
pierogies everywhere.
pierogies, krupnik, Polish beer. It's
God, yeah, that would be
just
awesome.
one of those things. So
I love Polish food. I mean, when I went to Poland, oh my God, the food was amazing, and everything was good.
Very hearty, very hearty.
Very, very hearty. Yeah. When we went to the last Mazer that I went to, which was last year, they were still in Milwaukee. And I had, for all that I lived 91 miles from Milwaukee, directly across the lake, mind you. So it's not like I can walk there. But when we were there, we went bouncing around town looking for places to eat. And we went to Krasmerik's, I think it's called. And it's an old, been there like almost 100 years, but it's a ethnic Lithuanian, and they had Polish food. They had a bunch of stuff. And it was so good. Plus, they had a store attached to it, so I come out of there with like 3 bags of pierogies.
Yeah. So speaking of Mazer Cup, I heard this year there is none.
There is no Mazer Cup this year.
I heard that. I saw the email. I was like, "Yeah, be kidding me."
There's some management changes going on, and I don't know all the deets. I mean, I'm not inner circle there anymore, but I know that there was some management changes and some other things that were going on. That they're just doing a little bit of retooling, and they're going to bring it back next year. So we'll be good. I hope it's still in Milwaukee. I had a blast going to the one in Milwaukee last year.
Yeah, I mean, I can
easy to get
say,
too.
Being a steward and volunteering, I got to see how complicated it is and how hard it is to run. And that was almost 10 years ago now. And I don't know how much.
But 6 or 7 years as president of the board, and of course the board, we all worked like monkeys the whole time too, and it's complicated. You don't get much sleep, and the run up is brutal, and the follow up is brutal, and I mean it's all volunteer.
It is volunteer. So I can appreciate whatever is going on the retool. It's and I hope it comes out next year again, because it's
I think it's going to come out bigger and better. They're talking conference and public tasting event. So going back to kind of what we were doing before. So
nice. Yeah, because last year we finally won a bronze in the session category.
Ooh,
so I was all excited because as a commercial meadery, that's a big goal, is to win. You can win all these other awards.
Yeah, but if you can medal at the Mazer or at the
Valkyrie Horn.
Well, Valks in the States, and then the European.
Yeah. So we last year
we
medaled
bigger than Mazer now, I think so.
Yeah, but last year we medaled at the Mazer, and we also medaled at the Valkyrie Horn. So I was like, all right, okay, we're doing it right. We're winning in the big ones finally. So this year I had some, high hopes for some new submissions this year that I've been working on, and I heard about it, and I was like, oh. So,
you're like, dang it, stop going on.
I look at this. Hey, it's another year to keep refining and tweaking and improving.
Belks is still going on, and I mean, you could always take your chances with shipping your stuff to Poland, and
yeah, that's
the Madness Cup next. They're in February, and then towards the end of March is when the Valkyrie's Horn is. Tracy and I are both going to go. She's going to come up here, and I'm going to show her around a Michigan winter, and
that's great.
And then we're going to drive through the UP
to
Tracy. Minnesota. Yeah, so I was like, all right, here we are. This is the Upper Peninsula. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, well, that way we can stop at White Winters in Iron River, Michigan, which is about an hour out of the way on a 6-hour drive, but it's well worth it. The side trip. Oh, absolutely, yeah. So,
well, I'll tell you, I mean, if people are looking for a road trip, Buffalo has 6 meaderies right now.
Yeah,
6.
I saw that. I was pulling a blank on your website name, your domain name, and I was just like going, brain farts. I'm old, and that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. But so I was like, all right, fine. I know it's in Buffalo Meaderies, and it was like a whole list, and I was like, gosh,
Yeah.
I'm falling
Within the
behind
past,
here.
like, in the past 4 years, a bunch of new meaderies popped up, and it's that New York State Farm Meadery license,
Yeah.
and
Well, it
which is great
exploded after
because
that. There was like 5 or 6 meaderies when I went in New York, when I went to that conference in the Finger
Mhm,
Lakes, and that was the year that they rolled out the Farm Bill. And
mhm.
the year later, there was double the number. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
it was just like gangbusters.
yeah. They made it so much easier and cheaper. Like the license cost for a farm meadery at that time was like 75% cheaper than a winery license. It was just
Yeah.
dramatically cheaper. You could sell to other New York State craft breweries and distilleries, and do farmers markets, and just so much. It was actually a good bill, and
Yeah, which is surprising,
so
when you figure state governments usually try to make things more complicated and difficult,
yeah, yeah.
and they actually made it easier and less expensive for you, and that's stunning. You
Yeah,
know,
it is, and so like, if you're a mead lover and you're in the Buffalo area, just do a road trip, because there's a bunch here now, which is great. So it's I've always been a fan of rising water lifts all ships. So
yeah, I'm right
I
there
always
with
tell
you.
people, yeah, and what's great is all the meaderies in Buffalo have their own distinct style, whether you like fruit or spices or stills or sessions. Everyone's got their own little flavor on each one. So it's a good place for a mead tour.
Yeah, Lily Bell's out that way, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they're literally 10 minutes away from us in Lancaster. They they
Yeah.
were and they were really the first meadery in Buffalo. They opened up, like, I think it was like 8 or 9 months before us. We were like in the planning stages and getting our license and waiting, because the licenses took like 6 months to get approved, and they opened up and we're like, God damn it, we thought we were going to be the first.
Beat
You
us to it.
know,
Yeah, and I
uh,
see Beast Bit, which is a hilarious name for meadery. I love it.
Yeah, they really do some good stuff there. Their graphics and their art is really good, and they got a very nice tasting room there. They're in the suburbs outside of Buffalo as well. So
Okay, and then Iron Cedar is a brewery and a meadery, so they went and got both licenses, it sounds like.
yeah, so they're relatively new. They opened up this year, and they're right next to the Buffalo airport. So they're
Oh,
trying to
well,
get that, literally across the street,
oh
and they're
wow.
trying to get, the visitor business. But they're a lot of food. They like almost like a it's almost like a restaurant with a brewery and a meadery. So
Oh,
and
that's cool.
so they got some nice stuff there.
Cool. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting out there to say I've not been to Buffalo, and do that and do it long. I'm gonna take the teeny trailer, and my husband and I go a wandering, because now we've got a short enough trailer that we can. I've been bugging him for, let's take the RV to Maine, and he's like, I am not pulling a 43-foot RV past New York City. Are you out of your ever loving mind? That was when we were still living in North Carolina, and we would have had to
Oh
drive
yeah,
past. This we can come at it from the west, now, because we're
yeah.
in
Well, I'll
Michigan,
tell
so.
you, if you've never been to Maine, it's
I have
so worth
been,
it.
but I haven't been there for extended periods. I mean, I was there visiting friends for half a day,
Yeah, I
Just,
went 2 years ago for the first time to Bangor
oh man,
and
it's
all that.
gorgeous.
And I was just
Blows your mind. Yeah.
the green of the trees.
Uh-huh.
Just and we got the Allegheny State Park here, and I've been to Adirondacks, but it was something about going that far north, and just the foliage was just it was and I was for me, and I'm kind of a I'm like, yeah, whatever guy, but I was like, wow, that was something. So I was highly recommend taking a trip out there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
great, great
it's on
place.
my list. I want to get out that way, and and I figure we gotta pretty much go right past Buffalo on our way, so
Yeah,
you
lots of
know.
meters.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'd say between here and there, oh yeah, quite a few. So we had quite a lot of interest in asking you questions. Two people that
Sure.
came up with Nathan, and then Kelly Phillips, who came up with some good ones too. So, okay, Kelly, I hope you're still listening. He's over on Facebook watching or listening. He's asking for your bee's knees trad. Why'd you go with avocado blossom honey? He says he hasn't tried that one yet, or tried that honey yet. So he's wondering, what was your methodology there?
Well, do I have to be really honest?
You can, or you can lie. Okay. I won't know the difference, right?
So what really happened was the avocado honey.
It is a unique honey.
Actually, it was purchased for a different mead. I made a batch. It's called Desire, and it's a Chilean. It's a Pyment. It's a Chilean Malbec with avocado blossom honey.
Okay.
Right.
Nathan has questions.
I had some left over. And avocado blossom honey is very moist, and it can actually start to ferment in the bucket.
High water content. Okay.
High water content. So the one time I actually ordered it, the bucket was actually bulging because it was in the summer, and it started fermenting in the bucket. So I was like, I got this honey. I made this other batch, and I had this bucket of honey that was in my cooler because I wanted to prevent it from fermenting, so I had to, drop it down to 40 degrees. And I was like, well, I got this bucket. Let's make a trad, right? And that's how I made it. And it's really funny because there are people who really like that darker, earthy flavor of the avocado blossom traditional. Mm-hmm. But what our biggest use of it lately is we make a mead cocktail with it. It's called, my wife named it this. It's called Apple Bottom Jeans, and it's.
I like that name. Tell your wife I highly approve. Great name.
She has some great names. It's half and half avocado blossom honey. The bee's knees traditional with apple cider that is made fresh here in Buffalo, and with a little cinnamon.
Nice.
So that's been the killer drink of this fall. I remember the one night we had an event about a month ago, and we could not stop making that drink all night long. It was because we put a little salted caramel syrup in it as well.
Oh yeah,
so you got
of course.
So you got the bee's knees, apple cider, salted caramel flavoring with a little sugar, cinnamon, sprinkle on it. And it was, just people were just buying it left and right. So great fall drink. So yeah,
sounds like it,
yeah, it worked out great. So that's how that one came about.
Yeah. Okay. So you'd mentioned the Desire was the one you were heading at. So let's see here. Nathan has some interesting question directions here. Mm-hmm. He says, noticeably different from your Desire Pyment, how does the use of lactose in your grape ape mead come into play for mouthfeel and formulation considerations with balancing out coconut juice?
From balancing out coconut
or Concord juice, sorry.
Concord grape, yeah. So
Buffalo, believe it or not, old eyes, that's my excuse.
It's okay. So so Buffalo, believe it or not, is we're in the Finger Lakes area, and believe it or not, Welch's grapes, Welch's grape juice and all that, they were founded in this area.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you go up and down the New York State Thruway along New York State, you will see fields and fields of Concord grapes everywhere, right? So we actually have access to really high quality, super fresh Concord juice here. That nice. So I use that in the grape ape, and what the lactose does, it really just increases mouthfeel. So it wasn't really meant as a like a sweetening agent. I just wanted to create a thicker mouthfeel for that mead. And earlier I talked about that coffee mead, the Morning Buzz one. I also put lactose in that as well because I wanted the coffee with cream sensation in the mouth.
Right.
So that the lactose thickened it up, gave it a more creamy sensation. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the logic of the lactose with the Concord.
Interesting. All right, and Kelly had asked something much the same with what did the lactose contribute to the grape ape? He says he's made a few pretty well put together Concord meads, but never thought about adding lactose. So mouthfeel.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, what happened was I made a test batch, and it turned out a little thin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we make another mead called Red Potion, which is strawberry, right? And that's actually the one we won the Mazer off of.
Okay.
And one of the things we do with that, we ferment it with strawberry juice, but I also age it. I also age it on frozen strawberries.
Oh, okay. Because Nathan actually asked, "What's your process for getting the best strawberry flavor?" That's a huge concern for a lot of people because, I mean, when you ferment primary on strawberries, it just eats all the strawberries. They turn into ghost strawberries, and you lose most of the strawberry flavor.
Yeah. So I literally go to like the local restaurant store and I'll buy 100 pounds of frozen strawberries. and then it's funny because I'm in the line and people look at me strange and I'm like, I really like strawberries.
Yeah.
Or especially when
Can we especially when
well, it's funny because the same thing happens when I do the strawberry banana mead. I actually buy cases of bananas and people are looking at me and I just turn. I always the same joke every time. I'm like, I really like bananas. And but yeah, so
dude, do you know how much banana bread I go through in my house? I mean, come on.
Yeah. So with the Red Potion, adding the strawberries in secondary, it really gives it that super strawberry jammy flavor.
Right. So you're starting out with strawberry juice and bananas in primary.
Well, for the Red Potion, it's strawberries and strawberry juice in primary, and strawberries in secondary.
Strawberries in secondary. Okay.
Yeah. Now for the Concord grape, I really can't do that because if I do Concord grapes in secondary, they're going to be skinned, and it's really going to kind of jack things up, right? Yeah. So when I was thinking about this, I'm like, well, let me do the lactose to really thicken it up like the Red Potion. But that one I can use frozen strawberries. So since I really didn't want to do the grapes with the skins, and which kind of messes things up a little bit, I did the lactose instead. Yeah.
Okay. Tracy is on the chat prepping for her trip up here because she doesn't do winter. The one year that she came up for Valks, and Valks was at that time was in February, towards the end of February, and that was like the year without a winter in Minnesota. I mean, they had coldish weather, but there wasn't any snow. We were going to go curling, and the curling rink was wet. I mean, all the ice melted. So it really it wasn't wintry enough. So I'm kind of hoping we get a real winter so she can experience it. But yeah, I like winter. I'm a fall and winter person. So summer's nice and I like it, but I'm ready for it to be done by the end of August. I'm like, okay, that's it. Time to flip the switch and go to real temperatures now. Yeah.
Oh, it's like Buffalo. Everyone likes snow up until January.
Yeah. It's like long about February. I'm like, are we done yet?
Well, once the holidays are over, we're like, okay, we're done. So,
Yeah. Well, you guys do get an inordinately hot amount of snow many years. You're in that snow pocket, so.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to watch the weather reports from here, and they're like, and meanwhile in Buffalo, they got 47 inches of snow in the last 3.5 hours. It's like, what?
Yeah, up until that lake freezes, we're kind of always in heightened preparedness.
Limbo.
Yeah. Well, we get it coming right out of Canada across the lake. Our lake is north-south, so it comes out of Canada and then it kind of goes across Minnesota and Wisconsin before it gets to the lake. So it's kind of lost some of its oomph by the time it gets
to Canada.
Yeah, well, of course. Blame Canada. But yeah, when we get the winds coming down out of the north, man, it's pretty bad. And we get a lot of lake effect where I'm only like a mile off the lake, so.
Yeah, it's where I live. It's kind of the snow belt can drift north or south, and where I live, If it drifts north, I get it. If it drifts south, I get it. So basically, I always get it. It's just
You got a
we're
snow
just
thrower, I hope.
oh my god, yeah. Oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
we've
just where
got
I live. So.
I have a teeny little baby snow thrower that my dad picked up somewhere, but there's a cousin of a cousin who has a excavating and whatnot business, and he does plowing too in the winter because there ain't no excavating going on then. So yeah, he's got guys with trucks and plows that just roam around, and and if you're like on the list, he'll swing by and kind of peer down our driveway. Yeah, looks like I should go in there. then the dogs start barking, like, oh, plow guy's here. And we get yelled at if we have any cars in the driveway. It's like, dude, I can't plow. You got cars in the driveway.
Yeah, it's just part of life here.
Oh yeah. Snow is a thing. I missed it. I lived in the South for 30 years, and it was like when we see snow, it would be like the whole world shuts down, and which was kind of fun. But it was like, oh, come on, people, really, it's just a little snow. But they don't have any equipment, So they got no way to deal with it. And when we got that was the snow of the century, literally was 100-year storm. We got 2 feet of snow in Raleigh. In the vicinity of Raleigh, yeah, and that is like highly unusual. And
2 feet of snow even makes Ottawa shut down.
Oh yeah, well, we were trapped on our dead end dirt road for 2.5 weeks, so and no power, So we're like cooking on a gas stove, and we fortunately had a gas grill. It was hooked up to our propane tank, like our big the underground propane tank, and it had a burner on one end, so we were grilling on the grill and using the burner for boiling things. And yeah, it was interesting and difficult. I mean, we just cordoned off some rooms and kept one room warm with heaters or whatever. But yeah, it worked out fine. My neighbors didn't do so well because they weren't prepared at all. But I'm like, hey, we had a generator, so so we were good there. But
it's like the ice storm of '98 here.
Yeah. So, okay, so that kind of leads into one of Nathan's questions. That is, how do you manage a meadery in a Buffalo snowstorm? And do you have any predictions for this season's snow?
Well, the one thing is you have a copious amount of we're closed snow-themed memes ready to post on social media. And, you just got to call it. I mean, luckily I live close. I can get there. But for customers, it's just one of those things. So usually if there's a snowstorm, we know it's coming. The weather forecasts are pretty good now. So we'll be like, stock up, come and get it while you can. And try and bring people in that way.
We're closing at noon, guys, so get in here.
Yeah, exactly. And, the other thing is that people here are kind of used to it. So it takes a lot for people to not go out in Buffalo. We all know how to drive in the snow, and
I've got the ability to drive in the snow. I know how to steer in a skid. I grew up doing that. I learned that stuff. Driver's ed, they teach that. I did driver's ed in the dead of winter in Michigan.
It's different when you get the front wheel drive, though.
Oh yeah, that changed everything when they got front wheel drive. But I'm back to a rear wheel drive, 4-wheel drive vehicle, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. But yeah, the Beamer was a front wheel drive, and that was we just garaged it in the winter. I was like, I'm not driving that thing in the snow. Oh no, I want to live.
You
learn, but it's different.
Yeah. So the only time it ever became a problem, was if I started a couple batches and I couldn't get there to do nutrient additions or whatever. But I still forced my way there to do it. Because I'm a sucker for consistency. So. So but you got to make sure power power stays on and everything stays good and working. But it's just the way of life here. It's just the way of life here.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's roll back to when you guys first got started. Nathan, I don't know where he gets his information. I swear, man's like he's psychic or something. Says when you first opened the smaller space in 2018, there were 8 needs on your list, which then grew to allow several on tap in the tap room with your footprint expansion, knocking out walls next door to allow 20 to 22 active mead taps among a growing number of signatures and new meads in development. okay, and here comes the actual question. What do you see as a manageable number to maintain within the tap room at any given time and in keeping for your vintage and or aging mead library?
Yeah, so that's a great question. That's something I've thought a lot of over the past year, because to maintain that level of choice was very difficult, because you
Mm-hmm.
have your main batches and then you have your smaller rotationals. So recently we had 22 taps. We had our wall of 20, and then I literally had a kegerator with 2 taps, that I'd roll out, and it just became really unmanageable. So what we're really going to do is we're going to stick to 18 meads and then 2 beers, and we're going to stay at that level for now. And if one tap is empty every now and then, hey, it happens. But we really know which ones sell now, which ones are good, which ones are okay, and we're really going to focus on the ones that sell and rotate in the ones that sell as well. So I think after all these years, I'm kind of done with my experimental stages where it's like throwing ideas at the wall. We know what's good, we know what sells, and we know what people like. So,
Yeah.
the new
Yeah.
meads, coming out, it's not going to be like the pace it was 3-4 years ago.
You
Yeah.
sort of get
Yeah.
out of the experimental phase and into the efficiency phase.
Yes, absolutely. So, we're trying to I'm trying to at least center when I do orders for honey and juice or purees. I'm trying to synergize my orders so that I can get, buy more of it at a cheaper price. I can make these three, and are these three appropriate for this time of year? Summers is a spring mead, summer mead. So I'm trying to synergize and utilize stuff in a more efficient way, and kind of get my ordering and rollouts in that same rhythm. So
Yeah. Well, brewing calendar. Basically just
yeah,
get your whole year laid out. Okay, I'm going to do these seasonals,
yeah,
blah, blah, blah. And that lets you figure out what you're going to need vis-a-vis supplies and whatnot,
yeah. And it's tough because sometimes you do the calendar, and things change. You go to, like, I recently, my supplier for tart and cherry juice dried up.
Mm.
They literally cut their cherry trees down. So I was going to make something that required tart cherries, and I had to find a new supplier, that I liked and was the same quality. So, you still got to pivot every now and then as needed, because, especially with fruit and juice, you got to
hmm
make sure what you're getting is quality and it doesn't change and I talked about it earlier, the consistency in the product. You got to make sure that what you're producing, if you have to go through a change, whether it's Szechuan peppercorn or
hmm
cherry or whatever, got to make sure it's what people expect.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you've also got to plan for possibilities like late freeze kills the cherry crop. That happens here every 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
our whole
Mm-hmm.
summer economy is cherries, I mean, is like one of the biggest things. And at least in this part of Michigan. And it's a huge deal. If
Mm-hmm.
there's a late
Mm-hmm.
frost that kills the cherry crop, and now what are we going to do? They've literally had to have, like, we have this giant cherry festival in Traverse City every year, and they actually had to import cherries from Washington one year
Oh,
because, yeah, how embarrassing is that? Like, we're like the cherry
yeah.
capital of the country, and we just had a really bad freeze at exactly the wrong moment. That was the
You're
year that
still at
Ken
the
Schramm,
mercy of Mother Nature.
yeah, that was the year Ken Schramm was sleeping in the orchards with the smudge pots.
Right. I
Yes,
remember
I
those.
remember that. I
Remember
remember him
that?
posting it.
Yeah, exactly. So that was that year, and it was just awful. I mean, it was really bad. Because I mean, I go out and buy like boxes. I've got 4 or 5 pound boxes of dried local
Mm-hmm.
cherries that I just keep on hand because I'm either eating them or putting them into something. Threw a bunch of ones that I'd already used to make a cordial into a salsa that I was making last week. So, well, I mean, why throw out perfectly good cherries? I mean, the dried cherries, I soaked them in rum for a month and a half, and then was like, I gotta throw these out. I can put them in ice cream, right? So I bagged them up, stuck them in the freezer, and forgot they were there until I was going through there. Was like, oh, I'm making salsa. I could use these. So 4 or 5 handfuls got chopped up and thrown in there, and yeah, now I get cherry salsa. Just wish I'd thrown a
Yeah.
few more peppers in it. It's not as spicy as I wanted.
That sounds awesome.
It turned out pretty good. Yeah, I'll have to. I got to send some jars around. I ended up getting, I don't know, like 17, 18 pints of, and that was just cadging tomatoes and peppers out of my cousin's garden across the street because he wasn't getting through it. And he's like, just go take what you want. I was like, okay. I had more peppers than God, but I didn't have as many tomatoes as I would like to have had. So I'm planning to do quite a lot of tomatoes next year so I make barbecue sauce, tomato sauce. Yeah, I'll be as bad as you. Barbecue sauce, tomato sauce, salsa, because we go through an inordinate amount of salsa around here. Between the fact that I like to cook Mexican food and we both like salsa and chips. So yeah. But I guess I better start learning to make my own tortilla chips too. So all right. Going back to Mazer and awards and stuff, here's another one from Nathan. He says, with both Admiral and Amy achieving awards from the National Honey Board, among other success at Mead Crafters and Mazer, what level of appreciation do you have for other competitive mead competitions among your peers in commercial meaderies?
Well, I'll tell you, the National Honey Board was one of the first places we won as a commercial meadery. So
really,
they were one of the first ones we submitted to and won, and they will always have a little soft place in my heart because they kind of, we knew we made good meads like when we were amateurs, and the companies evolved. There was the three original owners, me, Rob, and Ken, and we've transitioned, and now it's myself. I'm the last original owner, but we also have Scott and Mark, and Scott handles social media and finance and, the website, and Mark handles local operations and ordering and the facilities, the tasting rooms. So we all got our little niche. And, so as the meadery has evolved, so has our competitions and what we're doing because we're not in distribution, and we don't do a lot of shipping. Recently, the competitions are really for, it's just to sanity check myself. How are we producing meads that are comparatively across the country? How are we doing? Because believe it or not, our customers locally really don't care about awards. They don't. Like, we have them all displayed on our wall. We got all the medals. And, no one really asks about them. They just like,
the only other people that care are the other meaderies.
Yes, it's bragging. But
it's bragging rights in the community. Yeah, but for regular normal people, not us. It's
but it's nice to know that, like, okay, my mead is as good as X or Y, and it's kind of like I said, it's a reality touch point to know that, all right, I'm doing a good job. I know what I'm doing after all these years, and so believe it or not, I haven't submitted anything to the National Honey Board in a while, but this year I got a couple new meads I'm going to submit just to, I like, the one thing I love is the feedback sheets from the judges. So if there's any judges out there, trust me, we do read your comments and we take them very seriously, because it's great feedback. It really is. Whether I win or lose, I always look for the comments from the judges.
Yeah, that's honestly, that would be the only reason I would go in. I care less about medals. I've got a box of medals from other things that I've done competitive things in, and it's like, yeah, okay, and they sit in the box.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why, and this is the God's honest truth. I have a terrible palate. I have,
palates and
I could never be a judge. I really, if I drink stuff, I'm like, that's good, that's bad. That's the amount of my complexity. So I really do enjoy reading the judges' comments, and I take them seriously because I just don't have the palate for the nuance of the flavors, and I get a little leather or this, and I'm like, that tastes good. I really enjoyed that. That would be my sheet. I really enjoyed that.
That's kind of where my mind goes, and I have to keep shoving it out of the way when I'm judging because I'm like, oh, I really like this, or this is not my thing, But I have to judge it, so I have to learn to like set aside my normal personality and go for the
Yeah, I mean, obviously we could find off flavors or if it's sharp or this or that, but I really appreciate the subtle comments about acidity and this and that, and very subtle off flavors, slight sulfur, and I'm like, really, I did not get that,
Yeah.
you know. So a lot of the times when I submit to these competitions, it's not necessary, and it's great that if you win, but I really do it as a sanity check and that next level feedback on the meats that that I don't get, that I can't provide myself, to be honest. So so whether it's a big competition or a little competition, I really enjoy the comments and the scoring sheets just for that information and feedback.
Cool. Okay, what else has he got? He's just Nathan comes up with stuff all out of left field. Okay, so another process question. This is from Kelly, he's also got a question for us as a group on competition stuff that I think we'll have good answers for. He says, I'm curious about your process for the Ebenezer lemon squeezer. Tea in primary or post fermentation, lemon zest or actual lemon? Any other additional info or tips for making a good tea mead? What you're thinking?
The Ebenezer lemon squeezer. So again, my wife named that one.
Yeah, I like rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, so I'll give you the backstory. I live in West Seneca, and the local grade school that she attended when she was a child, their mascot, there's a hamlet of Ebenezer. I think they were Germans who first lived in the area,
Right.
and her grade school mascot was the Ebenezer Lemon Squeezers. So that's how we actually.
That's where that comes from.
That's where the name comes from. So for the tea, so it's evolved. We used to do tea in primary. However, the last 2 batches, I changed that. I actually did tea in secondary, post filtering, believe it or not. And that was to get a more bold tea flavor, because what we found was that because we filter our meads, right? And it really stripped a lot of the flavor out.
Yeah. So
nowadays we will filter, and I'll filter directly into the tank. I'll cold crash it down to 38, 40 degrees. And I will, once again, with a bazillion tea bags, put them in. And I will cold brew it right in the tank.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that idea. I think you're right that it's, I mean, you lose something when you're fermenting. It's eating parts of what's in there, and so you may or may not get that at the end. You may lose something like strawberries. Almost all the strawberry goes bye-bye when you're doing it primary.
So with fruit, I'm a total believer in fruit and primary. But for this, for essentially, it's almost like an Arnold Palmer, right? It's cold brewed iced tea with lemon, right?
Right.
So this one,
lemon in there or zest.
So we do both. So I do zest and lemon juice.
That's what I would go for. Zest brings a sharper note.
It does.
It does.
It just sucks zesting that many lemons.
So. Yes, it does. Well, you don't have one of them fancy dancy little twirly Skinner thingies that everybody seems to have.
I do, but it's just, you got to babysit it. And,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can't just stick it and forget it. Yeah.
You can't. The little arm comes off and you got to reset it.
Yeah, my apple core thing is that way.
Yeah,
it's
so
like, could this just work? That'd be great.
Yeah, so while that's happening, I get the rubber gloves on and I'll just zest with an old-fashioned zester and put it all in a hot bag and toss it in there. So
yeah,
we do both.
I hear you. Okay, in keeping with our discussing of technique and whatnot here, this is from Nathan. How is your relationship with Buffalo Distilling Company added in your barrel projects and mead cocktails?
And
by the way, congrats on getting in with Buffalo Distilling Company. I mean, shit, they're not exactly chump change,
Yeah, they're right down the street from us, believe it or not. They're
nice.
about 5 to 10 minutes away, and so for a long time, we were using black barrels from Black Button Distilling in Rochester.
Mhm.
They're huge. I mean, they produce a lot, and I had a connection through a family member there. So, anytime I got wind of freshly dumped barrels, I was like, let's grab them,
Yeah, here I
right?
am. Hello.
Yeah. So, because no one wants dry barrels, we want freshly dumped barrels. So, because that bourbon flavor is just there, it's popping. So, I would make batches and hold them until I heard there was fresh barrels available, and I'd drive there and bring them back and start the process, right? That being said, we haven't. I did use Buffalo Distilling barrels years ago, but then, like I said, that family member connection came about. But now things have turned. He no longer works there, and so I'm hoping that we'll be able to start using barrels from Buffalo Distilling going forward. So
Nice. Okay. Mobile canning. Okay. Nathan, I don't know what he does, but it doesn't take him long to do it. And he comes up with stuff like he's been digging around in your garbage looking for bills. You know, I mean, he comes up with details. It's like, what are you, a detective? Yeah. So how has mobile canning mead been a game changer for your distribution and the popularity of your blueberry mead among Bills fans? Bills, the
oh
Buffalo Bills
yeah.
fans like your blueberry mead? Is this
Yeah,
a thing?
so we have a blueberry lemon called Blueberries Make Me Want to Shout. So
Ah, okay.
um,
I take it
that,
that's
that,
a
that
popular
tur-
song at Bills games.
yes, it is, and
Okay.
just like every brewery in Buffalo also has a Bills beer.
Of course.
So
They
it's
are the
just the
Buffalo
thing.
Bills after all, so
It's the thing, and believe it or not, the blueberry lemon, it was our biggest seller this year. And it wasn't because of the bills, believe it or not. We partnered with a local company that specializes in, it's called the Blueberry Treehouse. Props to them. And we
Mm-hmm.
did a private label for them. So they literally, they have built a treehouse that's a bar and a little pizza oven on a blueberry farm. And
Cool.
yeah, it's really cool. It's literally a huge treehouse.
That's so
And
cool. I love tree
they
houses.
sell they sell our blueberry lemon mead there, and
Fun.
obviously blueberry mead there. They have blueberry beers there, and it's tremendously popular. And this summer people
Hmm,
are loving it, loving it, loving it. So that was our
nice.
best seller this year. But with Bill's season, obviously, the Bill's themed mead in the can, all that, it goes very well.
Yeah.
But for the canning line, I'll tell you this, it really saved us time and money, because before we were hand bottling our session meads in the 750 or 500 milliliter brown bomber bottles, and we were capping them, and labeling them. And when we increased production, that's just it was a huge. We had a little bottling machine, flip button thing, and it was a lot to do. It was very time intensive, and those glass bottles actually come from Belgium. And because during COVID, the cost of shipping everything went up dramatically, the cost
Mm-hmm.
of those bottles almost doubled. So it was time convenience and a cost effectiveness to go to the mobile canner. So
Okay.
yeah, and it's worked out very well. Um, our guy, company called Can Stars, great people, and they've just been growing leaps and bounds, and doing a lot of breweries and meaderies in the area now, and driving all over New York State doing business now. So the mobile canning
Wow.
industry is really taken off, just because unless you're super big,
Yeah.
investing in a canning machine is a huge capital
It's a
investment.
huge thing. Yeah. I mean, even the little lines are hideously
Yeah.
expensive.
Well,
Sergio was using mobile canning, and then he eventually got and invested in a canning line. I remember him telling me
mhm.
how much it cost, and I was like, "They what?" It was pretty stunning.
Well, that not only that, and you have to be an engineer to learn how to keep it operational and fix it and tweak it. And, the other big thing is, like when you're a mobile canner, you buy aluminum cans in quantities that make it exceptionally cheap, right? And for me to do that, I would have to have a huge warehouse just to store pallets of cans, which at the time when we started mobile canning, we were still in our small facility. So I could not, storing enough just normal glass bottles was a challenge. We had offsite storage. So anytime we were bottling, I would have to drive my pickup to our storage, pick up, 50, cases of bottles and bring them all back. Right.
Yeah.
So going to the mobile canner was a huge, huge game changer for us.
I'll bet. And he has another one about how's he. Okay. No, this is something that we haven't talked about yet. How do you feel the cannabis beverage industry has affected your sales in the recent climate? And we talked about, New York legalizing pot, but I noticed there's people that are making these drinks. They're always popping up on my Twitter feed and stuff.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Never
tried one, so I have no idea if they're any good, but
there's different brands and different whatever,
Yeah.
and they're all but I put that in there right with edibles or the little vape pens. Same effect, really is. It's kind of like pick your poison. You want a gummy? Do you want a vape? You want a can?
Young people are picking a different poison than we did. So
yeah. So it's definitely affected things. There's no doubt. But the thing is, it's affecting not only the mead business but the brewery business. I mean, there are everyone knows craft brewing blew up, and now we're starting to see the oversaturation of that market, and you're seeing breweries close in Buffalo. We've seen a meadery close last year. So there's market oversaturation in combination with cannabis has really been a game changer for us.
Yeah. So you have to keep pivoting.
Go to where the people are.
Go to where the people are, because they're not doing that. So they still have that. They still have that sort of aura of, I was at one of my dispensaries. I had to go up to Traverse City, which is like an hour away. That's where most of my doctors are. We're in a medical desert where I live, so I have to drive to Traverse City where the bigger hospital is. And there's a lot more docs up there. So anyway, I was up there doing my thing, and I stopped by a local dispensary. And I don't even know how many there are in Traverse City, but this one had email. I got on their email list, and they sent me going, today we're doing 420 day on the 20th of the month, every single month, 50% off everything. And I'm going, really? That stuff ain't cheap, And the only way I can sleep is if I take a gummy at night. So,
well, I'll tell you, I mentioned earlier there's an oversaturation of breweries and meaderies, but now there's an oversaturation of dispensaries. I mean,
it's insane here.
6,000
you can't spit with anyone here.
Oh yeah. There's only 6,000 people in Manistee, which is the next town over. And there's 5 dispensaries. Literally, we call it the marijuana mile. And it's 5 dispensaries within about 2,000 feet along US 31, running through town. And they're just like blam 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 blam, just right there.
I think there's about a dozen on my 9-kilometer drive to work.
Yeah, and they're just everywhere. Yeah, half the billboards in the state are now geared towards pot. But it's just funny because when I was young, these many years ago, before when dinosaurs walked the earth and before there was dirt, it was going to the back alley and go, dude, you got a lid? Come on, man. Yeah, here's your money. All right, thanks. And you run away. And now you go into these buildings that like everything's blacked out and the windows you can't see inside. You have to kind of go into this cave.
Yeah, it's
same kind of thing, but with chairs this time.
we joked about it earlier. You had to go to school and walk uphill both ways, and
both barefoot. Don't forget barefoot.
And barefoot.
In the snow.
And our equivalent to that now is when we had to buy weed when we were kids.
Yeah.
it was, uphill both ways, no shoes and compared to what they have
Right.
now,
And the
which is,
cops were following you. And yeah, it was like,
yeah.
Had
that's
to
what I
know
told the little
someone.
gal at the dispensary. I'm like, hey, in my day, we had to go into a back alley and find some guy, and you didn't know where that stuff came from or if it got sprayed with DDT.
Yeah.
I mean, you had no
Oh,
idea what
God.
you were getting.
Yeah. And then nowadays they literally have like,
Different
it's like going to
strains.
Target. It's like going to Target. It's nice and clean, and
Oh,
they have
yeah.
security guards there to protect
Yeah,
you.
security
And
guards.
yeah, it's like a menu, and you're like, oh, I'll have this and this and this, and I'll
And they're
try
like,
that. I'm like,
would you like some of these or something? I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Okay. The
I'm
best
like,
thing is like you can get pot, you can get hash. Those were the things. And then she's like,
yeah,
well, there's rosin, or there's rosin, and then there's this. And I'm going, okay, what is the difference? Because to me, it's all hash. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Where's the Ziploc bag with half oregano in
Right?
it?
Here's my pork baggie that's all
Uh,
rolled up with it, the picnic sandwich baggies with the little end over the edge so you didn't lose anything.
yeah, yeah. And then you saw these smoke shops that you need a mechanical engineering just to use,
Oh my God, I
versus like,
know.
versus a dented Pepsi can.
Yeah.
So,
Oh God, how many times I did that? You just put a little screen inside a hole in a Pepsi can. Oh my God, yeah.
you had screens?
Well, there was my dad was always had extra stuff laying around. There was usually a piece of screen laying around somewhere. So yeah. But yeah, oh
So
God, some of the stuff we did. I mean, I've seen it done. I've seen it done with fruit. Yeah.
yeah, the apple,
Yep.
yep.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
So yeah, but
Yep.
yeah, I know. Oh, we have a group question from Kelly. He says, I've been recently getting into the competition scene, mainly for the judges' notes, even though medals are, of course, fun. Valks was my first and only competition so far. I was happy to find that my mulberry mead got a medal in the berry category. Atta boy. Way to go, Kelly.
Mhm.
Yeah. All of my entries scored better than what I expected. Also good. Although the notes I got back on almost all my entries said I need to work on acid adjustments. So my question is this. He writes questions like Nathan does. Here's the lead-in paragraph. Now, getting to the actual question. How do I go about doing this? Just bench trials and research on what acids work best with each flavor profile I am working with? Any
Pretty
insight?
much.
Yeah, pretty
And the
much.
answer is yeah. Literally, you make a batch and you do several little cups and add a little of this and you taste it and
Yeah.
you add a little more, taste it and take, so
And then
you
you repeat it
literally
with
have
each
to,
acid.
Yeah, until you
yeah,
get the flavor profile you're looking for and that it's balanced. And
And then
I
you
got
try
I got
mixing
too
it
sucked
so that
into
you've got some of
Brad's.
this and some of that. Yep.
Yeah, I got
yeah.
sucked in. I
So
showed up at Nectar one time and he was doing acid. He was doing tests in the skunk works, and he drags me and sets me in a chair and says, "I need you to taste all of these."
yeah,
Like, what am
I
I
mean, one of
tasting? He's
the,
like, "You don't need to know, just taste them."
yeah, with the that one, the avocado blossom mead with the Chilean walnut juice. I
Mhm.
really had to do some major tweaks on the acid profile because it was
Really?
drier. Yeah, it was
Ah,
dry.
yeah.
It's a drier mead, so I
No place to
really,
hide. You got to
Yep.
get it right.
yeah, I had to tweak that acid before it was like, okay, now this is it. So I got help from other people and try it now, and so yeah, if you want to take it to that next level, you got to measure the acid, you got to measure, pH, all that stuff, and document. My biggest thing for amateurs: document.
Take
Keep it,
notes.
Write it down.
taking notes, document every little stupid change.
Yep.
Keep a lab book
Because
or something.
yeah, I mean it's one of those
Or an
things, and
app,
it's
I guess.
funny because I had when I was a amateur, I had a notebook and
I still
that I
do.
documented, and I looked at it. I moved and I looked at it recently, and I was just laughing.
Yeah,
I
I did
was
that
like,
too
"What?
with my first log book. It was like, I did what?
Yeah." I'm like, "What the hell was I thinking?"
Yeah,
I'm like, but that's how you learn. I mean,
it is. Yeah.
it's It really is.
Thankfully, I found got mead before I made too many of those. What was I thinking?
I didn't
Yeah.
have any. That was why I had to make got mead, because I'm out there in the wilderness, basically in a mead desert, going, I have no idea what I'm doing. So we're just gonna throw in honey, and we're gonna throw in water, and oh look, I have blueberries. We'll throw those in there too, and sprinkle a packet of yeast on there, shake the living shit out of it, put the top on, and wait. Yeah.
Yep.
And when
Yep.
something
So,
explodes, then you realize you need an airlock.
Right? Yeah.
and I'll tell you, whenever I'm bartending and people have questions on how to make mead, I will always give them the best advice I can.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the one thing I'll tell you as a mead maker, we do a lot of damage control.
Yes.
Because it's always, I was in college and my roommate made mead and it was terrible. And so, and for some reason, and I don't know why this is the case, we in the meat industry have zero forgiveness factor. Like that one person who had bad mead in college is always jaded about mead. But if we go to a brewery and have a disgusting fucking beer, we'll still go to the next brewery and have another beer.
Right? You get one
and
bad
think
mead,
nothing of it.
All bad, and then you get one bad beer, and you're like, oh yeah, well that was just bad. I'll go over here.
Did you like every beer you've ever had? Well, no. Well, how about every mead you've ever had? Well, I've only tried one. Well, maybe you should try more.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's so funny. It's like I literally say that to people when they go, oh, I tried mead, it was too sweet, I didn't like it. And I said, so do you like beer? And they're like, oh yeah, some beers. And I'm like, okay, so what you're saying then is there are beers you don't like, but that doesn't sour you on all beers, does it? And they're like, well, no, of course not. I said, well, meads are the same. They've got as much variety, if not more so. And they can be totally dry or so sweet your tooth fillings fall out, and everything in between. And they can be high alcohol and low alcohol and effervescent and not. And oh my God, there's so many things we can do, fruits and spices and vegetables and, all kind. And they're like, and by that time their eyes are glazing over. They're like, okay, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, I'll try it.
Yeah. It just infuriates me because I'm like, why do we not have the forgiveness factor that breweries have? Yeah. It's just so frustrating. So I will always give people advice on how to make good mead because 9 times out of 10, the first time someone has mead, it's from their buddy or their friend or their neighbor. So I want that first experience of mead to be a positive one.
Yes.
So, because then, like, oh, I like mead. Oh, there's a meadery in town.
Yeah, I should try that.
I will. So I will always give people advice on how to make better mead. Always. Always.
I'm very free with my, that's one of the reasons I chose not to compete, because I just assumed be a source of information, and helping people that way and spreading the word, as it were. So
yeah, we don't want to be gatekeepers. That's just shitty.
Oh God, no! Rising tide floats all boats. We're a little industry. We got to stick together.
Well, yeah, and as you can tell tonight, I've been very open about my processes and how I make stuff because, like I said, someone out here could be listening and making a batch. I want it to be a good batch. I want their friends and family to have positive mead experiences. So
I want home meats to be good.
Yeah.
Send Kelly the stuff that. I don't think he's he's not on the chat. He's on the main chat, not on the Discord. Excuse me. So yeah. I want to get out your way, man. I just haven't been real far from home really since we moved up here. It's been 2 years of trying to get this house in order. And yeah. So furthest I've gotten is Minnesota. And that takes me about 7 hours to get to Minnesota. So I can get to Pittsburgh in the other direction in about 7 hours. And Buffalo's another hour and a half past that? No, wait, you guys are on the other side. Pittsburgh's on the west side, and you guys are north and east of there.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh's like 4 hours from Buffalo.
4 hours from yeah. So it'd be like a 10 or 11 hours for me to get out that way. That's why I haven't been out to NYC, Bobby's place, which he lives about an hour from the city, because it was 12 hours from North Carolina, and it's pretty much the same from here.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of places I want to go and visit people. It's like, yeah, oh God, Yeah, well, now we got the teeny tiny trailer. It's basically a bed with a kitchen and a wet bath on wheels.
There you go. It's the way to
Yeah,
track.
I did the first weekend and the last weekend, and we survived. It was really crowded, but we did it. Only 60. We went from a 43-foot fifth wheel to a 16-foot bumper pole.
Woo.
Yeah. Yeah. The dealership people are like, "Are you really sure you want to do this?" We're like, no, we're good. You know, it's I'm still working out how to store things, but yeah, we'll make it work. But yeah, so yeah, I'm hoping to get out your way at some point. Are you going to be going to any of the comps?
Physically, probably not this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I still have my day job, believe it or not.
All
So,
right, yeah,
yeah,
that does
so,
change things a little bit.
yeah, so still do the day job and the meadery. So, I'm a pretty tight schedule. So,
I get you. Nah, I might have to try to make some kind of event out that way, and you know.
yeah. Well, when you're passing by, please let me know.
Oh yeah, if I'm heading in your direction, believe me, I'll tell you. I usually
Cool.
look up all the meaderies I want to hit and contact everybody and go, "Hey." I try to visit as many as I can when I'm going places, just because I like to do that, and then I can, get some stuff out for them. Tell my
Absolutely.
people what I've got out there, because I like to promote you guys.
We do appreciate it.
Hey, yeah, glad to do whatever little I can to help, But well, we've gone over 2 hours, unsurprisingly, because we do that all the time. We'll let you get going your Eastern time zone like we are, so it's late, and I imagine you've probably got a day job to go to tomorrow.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
But
we should
that's all right.
probably let
That's all
you get some sleep, man.
right. 5 a.m. comes rather quick.
Yeah, dude, seriously.
Ooh.
Thank you then for coming out when you have to get up at, oh God, it's early.
Yeah, it's okay. It's worth
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm glad we finally got you on the show. This has been fun.
Thank you. No, I really
Yes.
enjoyed talking to you guys.
Great
Yeah,
talking to you.
right. Yeah, big time. So, all right. Well, then, yeah, I'll keep you in the loop if I head east at all. I'll let you know if I'm getting out that way. Talk my husband into that
Awesome.
trip to Maine. It'd be like, honey, we have to go by Buffalo on our way.
Yeah, like I said, we got a ton of meaderies now. So
Yeah, 5
it'll
meaderies.
be
I know I'll get a big old eye roll from the hubby. He'd be like, fine, honey, I'm just going to sit in the trailer and watch television. You go ahead and do what you want. Try not to get too drunk. He doesn't like meadery hopping with me. He gets bored. He's a whiskey guy, so. But yeah, kudos for still kicking around out there to especially with as tough as it's been, and keep doing it, because I haven't been there yet, and I want to get out there to see you guys. So
no, we will be doing what we do, and keep striving to keep going through this time of the economy, and hopefully this downturn will bottom out, and people start appreciating real alcohol and real flavor, and
And being able to afford it.
so
Yeah.
we'll get there. Oh
yeah,
So.
one day at a time, man. That's the way she works. So, but all right, well, we'll let you get going then, and talk to you soon.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Well,
Good night, and thank you.
Brian.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Good night.
You too. Good night.
Take care.
Okay. We've only got a few more episodes left, just 3 more after this. So the next one upcoming is November 4th. And so far, this is a TBD. I haven't gotten that, although we've been talking about maybe just doing a group talk around making competition needs and what to do and not to do. So that's something that we're throwing around, and we'll get this nailed down. Don't worry. November 18th, we've got Blair Housley, Ottawa Meadery, and he makes a pawpaw mead, and he sent me a bottle of it, and I've actually got pawpaws in the freezer that he sent me. So we're gonna talk about that kind of stuff and whatever else he's doing. He's in North Georgia. And then December 2nd, we've got Bloom Mead Works, which is down in Ann Arbor. And I actually got to go visit them when I was down there for the Michigan Beekeepers Conference. So this will be an interesting conversation. They're literally right smack in the middle of Ann Arbor, which is something. I was down there homecoming weekend. There was a lot of people. Okay, upcoming events. October 24th, St. Ambrose Cellars, Beulah, Michigan. Dags und Timma. Live music. October 25th and 26th, the St. Louis Renaissance Festival has a medieval tasting. You can get 4 mead samples, a mead tasting flask, and free live entertainment. You have to buy a fair ticket to get in, and then you do the you buy the mead tasting ticket. October 25th, Berserker Meadery in Lexington, Kentucky has Monsters and Mead, a night of adventure, ale, and mayhem at Chaotic Good. October 21st. 25th, St. Ambrose Cellars, Beulah, Michigan. Andy Six, live music. October 26th, Birmingham Meadery, Seaford, Delaware, so the new location. Sips and Succulents, create your own terrarium. October 31st, St. Ambrose Cellars, Beulah, Michigan, has Luke Woltansky doing live music. November 1st, Bee Nectar Meadery, Ferndale, Michigan, has an adult book fair. November 1, Viking Alchemist Meadery in Smyrna, Georgia, has Mead and Mischief Halloween Party. November 1st, Brown County Historical Society and Hazelwood Historic House in Green Bay, Wisconsin, has a historic skills workshop, Learn to Make Wine and Mead. November 7th, Funktastic Meads and Beer in Midlothian, Virginia, has Mead and Music by Damian Allen. November 7th, Bee Nectar Meadery, Ferndale, Michigan, has Open Mic Night Comedy. November 8th, St. Ambrose Cellars, Beulah, Michigan, mead and cheese pairing with the Cheese Lady. November 8th, UNLB Lab and Kimmel Orchards in Nebraska City, Nebraska are having a mead making workshop. November 8th, Stardust Cellars in Wilkesboro, North Carolina is offering a mead making course. November 8th, Grimsby Hollow Meadery in Middleville, Michigan has Drink Mead, Learn Things, Potions, Poisons, and Snake Oil. November 9th, St. Ambrose Cellars, Beulah, Michigan, has a Sunday brunch, and they do that every Sunday from now until I think spring, so somewhere in March or April. November 18th, WTF What to Ferment Meadery in Milford, Delaware, has a mead and cookie pairing. And just as we mentioned earlier, Mazer Cup has been canceled for 2025. So there's no Mazer Cup this year. There will be one next year. So support your local meadery. And if you don't have a local meadery or you just want to spread your wings, you can go to shopmeats.com and find meats from all over the country. They're really good. And if you want us to get your event on Got Mead Live, let us know. You can just email us at gotmead@gotmead.com. We'll be happy to air it for you. In the meantime, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks on November 4th, and be excellent to one another.
Night, everybody.
Night, all.
Is everything off?
We'll be in a second.